Hey, welcome back to Sports Around the 313 with Triple G. Today we're going to talk about a couple of sports on this episode. We're going to talk about the Detroit Lions first, and then we're going to move on to the Detroit Tigers as well. I want to talk a little bit about the draft that the Lions just had recently. They did sign their free agents. That took place before the draft. Draft just happened a few weeks ago, and their number one pick was Jarrad Davis out of Florida. And I think it was a great pick. A lot of critics were talking about the Lions should have, drafted a defensive end. But, they have some vacancies there with DeAndre Levy, retiring this past year or being released, however you want to interpret that. This kid is a hitter. He's very much like some of the other players we have on our team. He loves to hit. And he's a good tackler, and he's all around the field. He covers the run, he covers the pass, and they're going to start him out in the middle, calling the defensive signals. I think Jarrad Davis is a great pick. I like it. A lot of people were talking about Bob Quinn, the general manager of the Lions, his first draft last year, and I gave him an A for it. A lot of people gave him a B, some gave him a C. Hey, look, he's got some starters on the team already from last year's draft. I think this year's draft, even without any of these players playing it down, I think it's a no-brainer. It's a good draft for him. Maybe not an A, maybe a B, but by the time the season ends, it could end up being an A as well. So I like what he did with this draft. He filled some good holes. He brought in some good character players. And again, this Jarrad Davis, I got a feeling he's going to be unbelievable. He's going to be like a Ray Lewis type player that played for the Baltimore Ravens. He's going to be all over the field. I feel real good about him. A lot of folks I talked to really like the pick as well. So let's wish Jarrad Davis and the Detroit Lions all the luck in the world. And, they're starting their training camp tomorrow. And, before you know it, it's going to be August and the preseason's going to be starting. I can't wait. I'm excited. Let's see what happens this year for the Detroit Lions. Let's move on to baseball. I got a couple of gripes here. The Tigers are 21-21 right now. They're at 500. They seem to go up one, then down one. They'll win one, they'll lose two. They win one, they lose two. They've been hovering around 500 for I don't know how long. The season's maybe a quarter of the way gone already. There's some things I'm not liking what's happening here, and I'm going to touch on that right now. Their relief pitching. We've talked about this before. I talked about it last year. Francisco Rodriguez is supposed to be their closer. He had I'd say a pretty good year last year. But this year so far, just in the last 2 weeks recently, he's come into games and blown 3 games, 2 of which were back-to-back. Okay, Brad Ausmus, the Tigers manager, had him in a game, I think it was in L.A. He threw a home run, lost the game in the 9th inning after our starting pitchers went very well. So everybody was bitching, all the fans were going crazy. What's this guy doing putting him in the game if he's giving up like 9 home runs already this year and it's only maybe a quarter of the season gone? He puts him in the next game. And what does he do? Rodriguez gives up another home run, a winning home run in the 9th inning of a game the Tigers lost again. And then, he pulls him out. He says, I'm going to put another reliever in there and I'll put him in the bullpen and let him work in the middle innings when the games aren't really on the line. And then, lo and behold, a few days ago, we were in a game, I don't know, was it the 12th inning, whatever. Who does he put in? Rodriguez again. Francisco Rodriguez gives up a home run again, lost the game. That's 3 losses to him that have happened in the last 2 or 3 weeks. Now, if you remember last year's baseball season, we ended up 2.5 games out of the playoff picture. 2.5 games. So if you look at it in the early part of the season, a lot of people think, well, it's so big deal. It's 3 games. Yeah, but listen, if that all adds up toward the end of the season, where we were only 2.5 games out of the playoffs last year, what the hell's going on? Now with 3 games that he's lost for us, and they still have him hanging around. And then Anibal Sanchez, who was a starter, who is stinking up the freaking Tiger team right now. I understand today he was just sent down and optioned out to Toledo. Why didn't they get rid of him a long time ago? Here's another one that's probably lost at least a couple of games for us, 2 or 3 games in this young season. That's maybe 5 games, 6 games that we could be over 500 instead of right at 500. I don't know what the hell's going on. I mean, Brad Ausmus, I like him. I've always been in his corner. But the way he handled Francisco Rodriguez, I think he stunk it up. And if I was the owner of the Tigers, I would have been so pissed off at him. I would have pulled him aside and said, you put that damn guy back in again, and it's your freaking job. We're not losing again because of this guy. The guy's stinking it up. Rodriguez, get him out of here. He's getting $7.5 million a year. And Anibal Sanchez, are you ready for this one? He's just optioned off to Toledo today. He's getting $16.5 million in his final year of his contract. So between the two of them, they're getting almost $24 million between Rodriguez and Sanchez, and for doing nothing but losing games for the Detroit Tigers. This is absurd. I can't even believe it. As a fan, it pisses me off, and it should piss you guys off as well. I just want to give a shout out to some of my cousins that are faithfully following here on the Sports Around the 313. My cousin David, my cousin Tim. Say hi to my cousin Denise and my sister Christine. And I hope all you guys, everything's going well for you guys. Listen, that's all for today. Get the hell out of here.